is that it's all natural ingredients, so you won't go wrong with this one. Now, after cleansing and...
What? Why am I saying all this stuff? Hyram, shut up. This is so fucking embarrassing, bro. Aloha everyone, welcome to Skincare with Hyram. If you don't know who I am, my name's Hyram and I'm passionate about teaching you how to perfect your skincare routine. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. I just realized a few days ago that it has been 4 years since I started my YouTube channel. 4 years. Can you believe it? It literally feels like 2 years, but then again, we all kind of lost 2 years because of the pandemic, so maybe it's justified. 4 years, y'all. I cannot believe it has been 4 years since I started my channel. That is mind-blowing, and I know that, you know, a normal person would have had it like marked in their calendar, so on that day they can do a big party and celebrate. I literally just fucking forgot. I'm not good with dates. I don't even remember birthdays, sometimes my own. But it has been quite a journey, and I just want to say really quick, thank you so much for an incredible 4 years. I mean, the first year kind of sucked, but after that it was great. We won't talk about the depressive episode that I struggled with for the first year of my channel, but it is truly humbling to look back on the past 4 years and see all that has happened, the incredible life that all of you guys have built for me, and I just want to say thank you so much. I'm so happy that we've all created this incredible community, and I have you guys to thank for it, so thank you so much. And because of that, I thought we would go blast to the past, we'll go back to the past and react to my old skincare routine from 4 years ago and to compare it to some of my favorite products that I use now instead. Now, I am really excited for this because I know that 4 years ago, I really didn't know too much about skincare. I knew about products, I knew about some ingredients, but that was about it. And I know this is going to be so embarrassing because back then I really did not have very many standards for skincare. You guys have taught me a lot over the years. This video is also partially sponsored by Nate, and make sure you watch through the video because I'm going to be doing a giveaway with Nate where you can sign up for free to get a bunch of my favorite products, including some products from my own brand. So make sure you watch the whole video to figure out how you can win some of my favorite products. So let's get into it. I'm not ready for this. I'm gonna cringe so hard because I know the skincare routine is just gonna be, how do I say, horrible. For those of you who have not had the pleasure of watching some of my old videos, there's still time to click out of this video. You don't have to put yourself through this. So the video is called My Skincare Routine for Oily Skin, and it has over 100,000 views. To all 100,000 of you who have watched this, I offer my deepest condolences.
Aloha everyone, and welcome to Skincare with Hyram.
I find it a little bit ironic that this entire routine is for oily skin, yet here I am looking like a grease ball. Clearly I wasn't doing something right. Also, look how scrawny I look. Man, I have grown a lot since then. Yes, my body is decaying. But ooh, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad I have a little bit of meat on my bones now.
My skincare routine for September of 2017.
Wow.
The reason I say the month is because my skincare routine is likely to change every single month because I'm always introducing
that
new
remains
products
true.
into my regimen. I want to up you guys on what I'm currently using so that you get an idea of what I personally prefer for my skin type, as well as the products and brands that I like best. So when it comes to a skincare regimen, I like my routine to be very simple. I do not like a lot of products.
Same is true today.
I just really don't like it because when I wake up, I want to get ready and go. Just boom, right out the door. And I don't have time to do a lot of products.
I like to keep my skincare routine simple, although it may look like I'm the person who indulges in an hour-long skincare routine, lights a candle, meditates while doing it. I like to keep my skincare routine really fast. I don't like spending a lot of time on it. I think it's just because, you know, 5 to 10 minutes is good enough for me, and then I'm like, okay, over this, I need stimuli, and I like keeping my routines really short. It is so weird watching my old videos because that's not something I do. It's not that I don't like them, it feels like an out-of-body experience. It's so weird watching who I was at that point in time and thinking, oh Hyram, you have so much to learn. It kind of reminds me of the video I did where I reacted to my first YouTube videos. That one was also just super bizarre. If you want to watch it, I'll have it linked in the description box below. It was super fun to make, but I don't know, it's such a weird feeling.
So for the very first thing, after I've taken a shower, I go in with my Clarisonic. I absolutely love Clarisonic because it really deep cleanses the pores.
Oh my god, I forgot I used to use my Clarisonic every single day. Without fail, I used that thing religiously. And I will say, I don't necessarily think a Clarisonic is bad, but using it every single day is way too abrasive on your skin and honestly is very close to using a really harsh scrub on the face every single day. I can't believe I used to do that, but I remember using it and being like, oh my gosh, my skin feels so soft. It feels so nice. I want to do this all the time. Little did I know at that point that regularly using Clarisonics can be really rough on the skin. And I remember one person who worked at a beauty store telling me that Clarisonics don't exfoliate the skin. They just cleanse the skin, which I mean, it's not like a chemical exfoliant, but essentially, yes, Clarisonics do exfoliate the skin. It's still abrasive, removing dead skin cells and can be a really intense experience. And that's not totally their fault. They didn't know that. I didn't know it at the time, but I remember shortly after this video realizing after reading through comment sections that, oh, maybe that wasn't the best. I believe I transitioned out of using a Clarisonic shortly after this, and I think less than 6 months later just completely stopped using Clarisonic altogether. I remember really liking Clarisonic because it removed all the sunscreen and all the extra oil and dirt on my face that accumulated throughout the day, but honestly there's so many gentler ways of removing all of that stuff from your face. And what I actually currently use now is a cleansing balm. I love cleansing balms because they're able to gently remove everything from your face while still nourishing and conditioning the skin to prep it for a water-based cleanser. When I first used a cleansing balm, I was like, oh my gosh, where has this been all my life? It's an incredible experience. And for years, my personal favorite cleansing balm has been the Then I Met You Living Cleansing Balm. I don't have it with me. I ran out and I have to order more. It's so nourishing and moisturizing to the skin. It removes everything, but it doesn't feel like it's overly abrasive and just feels like a really nice first cleansing experience. And I 1000% would recommend a cleansing balm over using a Clarisonic every single day. What a nightmare. I feel like my skin is still going to face the consequences of using a Clarisonic every single day for years down the road. Oh man, this just goes to show how much I had to learn at the time. But let's celebrate growth, shall we?
Now this is amazing. I usually don't use it every day of the week. I used to, but I don't do it as much just because I'm lazy. And I probably should use it more.
That is not a good reason.
But what I always pair it with is with this Estee Lauder cleanser.
Oh,
now, this
I forgot about that product.
Multi-action gel cleanser, and it's for oily skin. This one doesn't foam as much on the face, so it's kind of harder to track how
it doesn't
well
foam
it spreads,
as much.
but I just
That was a crazy foaming cleanser. I believe the second ingredient in that one is sodium lauryl sulfate, which is a foaming agent that I now kind of believe can be somewhat stripping to the skin. I don't know what I was talking about. That definitely was a foaming cleanser. Extremely lathery.
I just let the bristles do its work as it goes across your face.
At least I did that.
And just let the product seep into the skin. Now, it took me a while to find a really good cleanser. The reason why I like this one is because I went through a lot of the ingredients and I didn't find them to be harmful, so I was like, okay, I'll take a chance.
I mean, relatively speaking, compared to a lot of other cleansers, yes, that's true. A lot of the ones that I was seeing at the time had sodium lauryl sulfate, which can be way more stripping than sodium lauryl sulfate, so I did feel like this was a little bit of a step up for what I knew at the time. But now looking back, there are very few cleansers I would use that do have sodium lauryl sulfate at a high concentration, because since I've learned that cleansing can be a really stripping step of the skincare routine and can be pretty damaging, which is why now I opt for a lot more gentle cleansers. For example, one of my favorite cleansers is the Aveeno Calm and Restore Nourishing Oat Cleanser because of how gentle it is. This one does a good job of not impairing the moisture barrier or overly stripping it while still feeling like you're getting a good cleansing but hydrating experience. Comparing this to that cleanser is a whole world of a difference. But I think it also goes to show that back then, a lot of cleansers on the market were really, really stripping and usually had intense scrubs within them. Now when you go to the store, there are so many gentle cleansers that are amazing for the moisture barrier and so much better. So the industry has come a long way, but I do remember liking that one because of how dry it made my skin afterwards, which sounds bad, and honestly, it probably was. But that was a cleanser definitely meant for oily skin, and I felt like my skin was producing so much oil that I would go in with pretty intense cleansing experiences, not knowing that when you use a harsher cleanser on your skin, it can actually force your skin to produce more oil and sebum, which makes the problem worse because your skin is like, oh my gosh, where's the moisture? We need to create more. And thereby your skin gets really freaking oily. Do I think it's a bad cleanser now? No, but I think there's a lot of better options that I personally use now that are way more gentle, really effective at removing everything, and way less stripping to the skin. Now, if you are intrigued by some of the products I've been using now, you're going to want to listen to this because Nate has kindly sponsored this video and will be giving you some of the products that I've talked about in today's video, in addition to more products, all for free just by using their app. So if you want a chance to win, listen to this. So now I want to talk about the giveaway that I'm doing with Nate, because that's not even the best part. Because if you download Nate, you'll be able to get $50 to spend on your first purchases. $50 for free. If you don't know Nate, it's an iOS shopping app that basically meets mood board, meets shopping cart, meets pay later. You can save items from any website you're shopping from, create lists that you can share with others, and purchase whatever you'd like. I created a list with Nate that features all of my current favorite skincare products for under $50, the tried and true products that I'm currently obsessed with, and each of the products are $50 or under so that you don't have to break the bank when shopping for skincare. Any of you who download the app will automatically get $50 added to your account that you can use on any purchase through Nate on any website. So if the holidays or a birthday is coming up and you want some people in your life to know what you'd like, Nate is a perfect app to create a list of what you'd like and share it with anyone in your life to give them, that hint. Anyone who creates a skincare list on Nate and posts about it will be entered to win the entire skincare list that I created, all of the products that are featured, and you'll get a special shout out from me on social media. If you've been considering buying any of the products products that I personally love, I highly recommend downloading the app so that you can get $50 automatically added to your account. This opportunity is available to anyone who has iOS located in the United States. Thank you so much, Nate, for sponsoring me and giving this opportunity to all of you guys. I hope you guys take advantage.
Now, after I've cleansed my face, I go in with my Lush Cosmetics Mint Julep Lip Scrub. Now, I usually do this.
Oh, bro, I am just embarrassing myself. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Here's the thing. I have respected some of the philanthropy that they've done in the past, but their products are just not my favorite. Pretty completely opposite to my skincare philosophy now. I go into detail about it in my video, The Truth About Lush Cosmetics, but I just... Oh man, what a full circle moment it's been. I think that their heavy emphasis on natural ingredients without proper preservatives makes a lot of their products just a recipe for bacteria and the products going bad really, really quickly. Now I will say, I remember I didn't use their face products because even at that time, I didn't agree with the ingredient list. So the lip scrub really isn't too bad. I wouldn't use that product now, and I think it's mostly just because the products do go bad really quickly. And when it comes to stuff you put on your face, you don't want to be using products that have a potential for bacterial growth, but it's not the worst. To be honest, I don't use a lip scrub now. I just use my Selfless by Hyram Mandelic Acid and Rice Bran Serum on my lip area to get a gentle exfoliating experience. But I will say I don't think scrubs are awful. I personally wouldn't use them now.
And this one is amazing because not only does it smell so good, it's also edible. So when I get it across my lips, it tastes super good.
Man, I am saying all the trigger points that would make me hate a routine if I was reacting to it now. You're incriminating yourself 4 years in the future. Let's focus on the growth.
The great thing, of course, about Lush Cosmetics is that it's all natural ingredients, so you won't go wrong with this one. Now, after cleansing and...
What? Why am I saying all this stuff? Hyram, shut up. Stop saying this. Who is holding a gun to your head behind the camera and forcing you to say this shit? This is so fucking embarrassing, bro. Oh my gosh, I'm about ready to abandon this entire video because what the hell am I saying? I'm just gonna try to block this out of my head and just, you know, think about how far we've come.
The first moisturizer I use is by Trish McEvoy.
Oh, okay.
This one is called the Beauty Booster Cream with SPF 30. The reason why I like this one is that it's extremely hydrating and it adds sun protection without the white wash effect that a lot of SPF has.
To be honest, I don't even remember the ingredient list of that one. I really don't. I am glad that I'm wearing sunscreen. At least I was wearing sunscreen back then. You gotta give me points for that. If I'm not mistaken, I only remember 2 aspects of it. First, it was a chemical sunscreen, which I don't use chemical sunscreens now. I have so many different reasons why. I'm not gonna get into all of them in this video. But yes, it was a chemical sunscreen. And I do remember at that time, I didn't think it was really oily on my skin, but to be honest, I am almost 90% sure that that was the product that was really responsible for my oiliness. It was just way too heavy for my skin. At that point, I hadn't really experienced gel creams. I mean, to be honest, there weren't really gel creams on the market. Nowadays, I typically go between using a gel cream during the day and a rich moisturizer at night. During the day, I use the Selfless by Hyram Niacinamide and Maracuja Daily Barrier Support Moisturizer. Because of how lightweight but deeply nourishing it is, I know that I'll be helping my moisture barrier while still getting that nice lightweight experience that won't make my skin oily or greasy or feel heavy at all on my skin. And then at nighttime, I go in with a rich cream like the Skin Fix Triple Lipid Barrier Peptide Cream to really focus on deeply nourishing my moisture barrier, give it as much love as possible to be able to prep it during the day. And using a richer moisturizer at night has really helped decrease my oiliness during the day because it's ensuring that I'm not losing so much water through my skin as I sleep. So going back and forth between this duo is so much better than having to deal with the oily greasiness of using too rich of a moisturizer on my skin during the day. Now, I've also talked about how I don't personally like using moisturizers that have an SPF in them, just because in order to get the proper amount of SPF that you need for full protection on your skin, you need to use a lot. And when it comes to moisturizer, I only use about a pea-size amount for my whole face, whereas opposed to sunscreen, I'll use like a nickel to quarter size amount. And using that much of really any moisturizer, but especially that one, would just be way too much for my skin, and I can guarantee I was not using enough sunscreen just with this on its own. I just personally recommend having a separate moisturizer from your sunscreen so you get the full protection possible.
Now, for my T-zone, I cannot tell you guys how long it took me to find a good moisturizer for my T-zone. For a couple months,
that's
I
right.
went without
Yes, I
using
would go
any
on with 2 different
moisturizer
products.
because I'm like, nothing's gonna work. Everything just makes me so oily, and I would have to use setting powder over my bare skin every single day to try to control the oil. Until one of my coworkers recommended this moisturizer, which is amazing. It is so
I think
good.
I know this one.
And you're going to see me include this moisturizer in a couple videos in the future because I love it so much. But it is the Origins Zero Oil Moisturizer. It's an oil-free moisture lotion with saw, palmetto, and mint.
The reason I remember this product because this product was my turning point in learning more about skincare. I was obsessed with the formula of this one because it was so lightweight, but little did I know that the top ingredients in this moisturizer were all irritating essential oils. I believe they've since discontinued this moisturizer, and I love Origins. I think they have a great philosophy. A lot of their products don't align with my personal philosophy, but I think they do have a really good commitment to helping the earth. This moisturizer, however, was chock full of irritating essential oils at an extremely high concentration, and I really had no idea. And I remember one of my subscribers who was studying to be an esthetician, I am so grateful to her, called me out and gave all the reasons as to why that moisturizer and those ingredients could be irritating to the skin, and gave me some resources to be able to learn more about how to expand my knowledge of skincare. And it was at that point where I realized, my gosh, Hyram, you know nothing. You have so much to learn. And that's where I really started being more intentional and stricter about what ingredients I wanted on my skin versus what I didn't want on my skin. And I remember this really clearly because not too long after making this video, I totally started changing up the skincare products that I was using, connected with dermatologists, estheticians, chemists, expanded my knowledge, memorized ingredients, all the education that has, really been able to help shift my standards and hopefully be able to help you guys. So honestly, I'm glad I used this moisturizer because if I hadn't have used it, who knew how long I would have been going on and on about how much I love skincare while having barely any knowledge or standards for what I wanted to put on my skin. Man, major turning point.
Now, after I do both of my moisturizers, I make sure to use SPF because the sun is really strong here in Hawaii, so I always want to make sure that I have sun protection on my face. So what I go in is with Shiseido Urban Environment UV Protection Cream, and it's SPF 40 as well as water resistant. I really liked this one when I first got it because I was like, oh, there's no white residue left and it doesn't make your skin super oily like a lot of sunscreens do. And I was like, this is amazing. But here's my problem, and this is with both of these. This is why I won't be repurchasing these products again. Both of the main ingredients within these for sun protection are oxybenzone, avobenzone. Now the problem...
Okay, so that's really when I started learning about sunscreen filters and what I didn't want to put on my face. Now, my reasons then are different from my reasons now why I don't want to use those sunscreen filters on my face, but it's interesting to know that I wasn't going to repurchase them after that because that Shiseido sunscreen, I totally forgot about that one. I remember at the time, I didn't really think it had a lot of white cast, but looking back, it may not have had the most white cast for my skin, but on other people's skin, it definitely had white cast. And that's when, I don't know if it was then or later on, where I started to try and be considerate about what sunscreens I was recommending and how accessible they were to different skin tones. Now, even today, I struggle to find mineral sunscreens that are truly accessible to every single skin tone, but I have found a bunch of different ones that different people can use. And if you're someone who uses a chemical sunscreen because you find that mineral sunscreens don't really work on your skin tone, totally understand why. I do not blame you at all. But nowadays I use the Bliss Blockstar SPF 30. I've talked about this one pretty much in every single video over the past 3 months. It's my favorite sunscreen. I love using it. It has a slight corrective tint and it's so lightweight on the skin, controls all the oil, and it's definitely a lot more lightweight than that Shiseido sunscreen for my skin. I know a lot of people really like that one. I think they still sell it to this day. But even back then, I was struggling to find a good mineral sunscreen. But hey, at least I was using sunscreen, and honestly, kind of props to myself for using a moisturizer with sunscreen and then an additional layer of sunscreen on top of that. Like, can we recognize the sun safety? I'm a little bit proud of myself, I do have to say. Well, that was interesting. But it is fun to look back and see how much has changed just in the last 4 years, not only in the type of products that I was using, but also just on YouTube, online, just in general. Seeing all the support from you guys has just, wow, it's made me grow so much, and I have you guys to thank for that. This was fun, cringy, but fun. If you guys want to see more videos of me reacting to some of my older videos, let me know because, I guess it'd be interesting. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and to the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. And I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.